Hi everyone, let's talk about navigating the fine line between transparency and oversharing in relationships. Relationships are all about balance, being open but also knowing what, when, and how to share. Now, I'm not saying you should keep secrets, but not everything needs to be laid out on the table at once. Why? Because we all process things differently, and sometimes saying too much too soon can do more harm than good. The goal is to build trust, not overwhelm. So how do we strike that balance? Let's dive in. Transparency is about open and honest communication that strengthens trust. In relationship, transparency builds intimacy, trust, and emotional safety. It means being open about your feelings, expectations, and concern. So, oversharing, on the other hand, can feel like emotional dumping, especially when it happens too soon or in the wrong context. Transparency and oversharing don't just apply to romantic relationships. They can happen anywhere, in friendships, family, marriage, church, or the workplace. The way we share information affects how people perceive and interact with us. For instance, in marriage, a husband constantly reporting every minor issue about his wife to his mother in detail. That's oversharing. A wife who frequently speaks negatively about her husband to her family, she risks losing their respect for him and their marriage. In friendship too, being open about your struggles with a close friend, that's transparency. But when you constantly dump every problem on them without considering their emotional space, that's oversharing. At workplace, addressing concerns professionally with your boss, that's transparency. But complaining about your job and co-workers to everyone at office, that's oversharing. In the church and community, sharing a testimony to encourage others, that's transparency. But revealing unnecessary personal details in a way that makes others uncomfortable, that's oversharing. At the end of the day, wisdom is the key. It's not just about being honest, it's about knowing what, when, and how to share. So you can see that transparency invites healthy communication, while oversharing places emotional weight on your partner. The second one we'll be looking at right now is timing and readiness matter. Being open is great, but timing is everything. Some things are best shared gradually as trust builds. Early in the relationship, stick to foundational values, life goals, and expectations. Transparency means communicating values, boundaries, and general life experiences, but without unloading deep traumas too soon. As the relationship deepens, gradual mutual sharing helps build a strong foundation. Oversharing too early can scare a partner or create an imbalance. For instance, transparency says, "I feel unheard when you don't check in with me. Can we communicate better?" Oversharing says, "You remind me of my ex who ignored me, and that's why I get triggered when you don't text back immediately." You can see that one is clear and constructive. The other places emotional weight on the partner unfairly. So you don't have to review everything at once. Ensure sharing is mutual, not one-sided. Some things like past relationships, family issues, or insecurity should be shared gradually as trust builds. Transparency says, "I've learned a lot from my past relationships and I value open communication." Oversharing says, "My ex cheated on me and I stalked their social media for months. I don't trust people easily." It's okay to discuss past relationship, but don't bring emotional baggages that makes your partner feel like they are being compared or tested. Transparency says, I'm working on being more patient because I know I can be short-tempered when stressed. Oversharing says, I had a huge fight with my parent last night and I feel like my family is toxic. I don't even know if I can ever trust anyone. Sharing struggles is fine, but dumping every unprocessed emotion on your partner can feel overwhelming. Imagine you sharing to your partner that your brother slept with you while growing up. Do you think he will respond to that? Transparency says, I see myself settling down in the next few years and I would love a relationship that aligns with that. Oversharing says, I have already picked baby names and planned my wedding colors. I need to know if you are on board right now. You can be open about your future, but don't pressure your partner into making decisions too much or too fast. Diving into the third point, the intent behind sharing. You need to ask yourself before sharing, why am I sharing this? Is it to connect, to seek validation, or out of impulse? You need to ask yourself, is this the right time and the person? Does my partner have the emotional space to receive this information I'm about to give? Will this strengthen our relationship or does it just offload my emotions? These are the questions you need to ask yourself before you begin to offload your informations. Transparency versus oversharing in conflict resolution. In a scenario whereby a partner is feeling unappreciated, transparency says, lately I've been feeling unappreciated and I've loved us to find ways to show gratitude to each other more. Oversharing says, you never appreciate anything I do. My last relationship was the same. I always felt unseen and I'm scared this is happening again. The transparency approach communicates feelings clearly and invites a solution. The oversharing approach brings in past baggage, makes the issue seem bigger than it is, and can overwhelm the other person. Not everything needs to be shared at once. Protect your privacy while being authentic. Relationship thrives on trust, but also on knowing when to pause and reflect before sharing. At the end of the day, transparency and oversharing are not the same. Share with wisdom, not just emotion. Build trust, not pressure. And always remember, communication should bring clarity, not confusion.